What's up, guys? I'm here at the El Capitan Theatre in Hollywood, California, here to watch Black Widow. As you can see behind me, there are these suits inside the theater, which is super awesome. Got those right there, Red Guardian, Black Widow, all that. And what's cool about this theater that many of you may not know is that it's actually owned by the Walt Disney Company. And the majority of their movies are actually premiered here. In fact, Black Widow was premiered here just last week, and Kevin Feige was on this stage right behind me, which is super awesome. Apparently, Red Guardian, David Harbour was in London. Florence Pugh was in London, and David Harbour was in New York. So, and I think Scarlett Johansson was just MIA. She was just on video screen, and I don't know about Rachel Weisz though. But what's cool is since that they premiere movies here, the actual stars and actors have sat in these seats right here. I'm actually going to be sitting right up there, and it's just really awesome. So basically these seats right here, I mean, Chris Evans could have sat here and farted in there for all we know. But anyways, awesome theater, and yeah, can't wait to see it. First time here, and it's going to be awesome. Now, for a really quick history of this theater, it first opened in 1926, went through multiple owners until Disney finally bought it in the late 80s. Disney renovated and restored it, and finally opened it in 1991 with the premiere of The Rocketeer. And ever since then, the El Capitan has been the red carpet premiere destination for the majority of Disney-owned properties, from Disney Animation, Star Wars, and yes, the MCU, including Infinity War and Black Widow. Now, another cool thing about this theater that I didn't realize they do is they have this really cool old style Hollywood type glamorous screen raising thing with music, and it was just awesome watching that. It was like, oh yeah, there's gonna be a cool show going on. And yes, it was Black Widow, which was just as awesome. So it was a very fitting curtain raise. And as I said earlier, they have the actual screen used costumes on the sides of the theater as you're watching, which is so cool. They have the White Widow suit, the Red Guardian suit, Yelena's suit, and Taskmaster's suit, which turned out no spoilers here, actually, never mind. But yeah, it was great to see them in person. I just was staring at them, I was like, this is amazing. And I'll tell you something, there is nothing like watching the movie, seeing it on screen, seeing the suits right in front of you on screen, and then turning to your side and seeing the actual suit that was probably in that scene right next to you. I just kept looking at the screen, then looking at the suits like, holy bejesus, it was kind of mind-blowing. And that's an experience in and of itself. I definitely really like that. And if you ever get a chance to go to the El Capitan to watch a Marvel movie, do it. And in the theater lobby was none other than the OG all-black Black Widow suit. It was sitting right there on the floor level. You could just walk right up to it and see it up close. And see it up close I did. I just absorbed all the details of the suit. Now, one thing about the costumes is a lot of people see the overall general design and just they like it, but I love the deeper detail behind it, the construction of the costume, because you can make a costume look good and then it's hot and you can't move in it like the old Batman suits, like, you know, Batman Forever, Batman 1984. But this one, you can actually see the engineering behind it to make it movable and breathable. If you look, there's the black portions that actually looks like it's a very stretchy, breathable nylon or some sort of material of fabric that actually moves, so it looks like she's not constricted in the suit. And then you have the piping details going along the edges, and then this cool texture that has a shimmer to it on top of the suit as well. And the belt detail is just off the charts with all the weathering and scratches that they put into it. It looks really well worn and just so good. And one really cool detail that I noticed when I was like eyeball microscoping all the details is that something you won't notice in the film because the lighting and just the camera never gets close enough, but the grips of her baton are actually made up of a bunch of the tiny widow symbols. I mean, you never would see that in the movie. They never get close enough. That's one of those tiny details where it's like you can only see it when you can just get up close and personal with a suit where it's like in your face. And oh, I love that. I love seeing the suits. I love the costume designs and the construction. The costume designers are seriously some of the biggest stars of the MCU that you never get to see. Seriously. And of course, the concession stand had all the Black Widow themed popcorn buckets and cups, and they even had those little minifigures
on the top, which was pretty cool. I was actually I was gonna get it, but then I kind of wanted to walk around Hollywood Boulevard a little bit, and also I bought the other stuff before from like Ant-Man and the Wasp and the other movies, and I don't know where to put them. They take up quite a bit of space actually, and yeah, so I've kind of stopped getting those, but it was really tempting. But one thing I did get instead was a special opening weekend only El Capitan Black Widow poster. Now that is cool, and I'm putting that in a frame, and that is a cool thing because it even has the El Capitan logo in the corner. So yeah, that is not something you can get anywhere else, and it was that weekend only. So that I am really happy to have gotten. And then after the movie, I reluctantly left that awesome theater. I'm definitely going to be going back. And then I went out to Hollywood Boulevard and started wandering around, starting with the TCL Chinese Theater, which used to be known as the Mann's Chinese Theater. That's another historical theater that I haven't watched a movie in yet, but I definitely want to. I may have to go back for Snake Eyes or something, I don't know. Probably a non-Disney movie because all the Disney movies are going to be at the El Capitan. And if this theater looks familiar, then it should if you're an MCU fan, because it was featured in Iron Man 3. The scene where Happy Hogan is chasing down that kind of, what is it, Johnny Storm glowy / Wolverine hybrid bad guy dude into the area where he meets up with that dude to give him the thing to blow up and all that stuff. Yeah, that was this theater, the Chinese Theater in Hollywood. I'm not sure if they actually filmed it at the real theater or if they made a recreation of it on a set, because they did do explosion and all that stuff, and I don't know if the Chinese Theater would be very happy about that because all the handprints are on the floor. But who knows? And of course, after the explosion part happens in that scene, the bad guy does his whole Wolverine Healy thing and he's walking out, and in the background is none other than the El Capitan Theater. Super cool. And like I said, on the floor in front of the TCL Chinese Theater are a bunch of movie stars' handprints and footprints, and they signed their names to it. And the funny thing is, in the corner where that dude blew up in that scene is actually where the Avengers Original 6 and Kevin Feige's handprints are. So that's kind of funny. I'm not sure if they did that on purpose, but yeah, because Stan Lee's handprint is there as well. Now, of course, I was able to go up and interact with it, and that was just really awesome because those are the actual handprints that the actors put into cement. So, and it was right there for you to just kind of put your hand in there to see if your hand fits, which is what I did. I tried Chris Evans' Captain America hand, and his hand is slightly bigger than mine. Then I did Chris Hemsworth, and holy jeez, that dude has huge hands. And then Kevin Feige, he also has much bigger hands than me. And then I tried the Black Widow herself, Scarlett Johansson's handprint, and of course, you know, she's a woman, so her hand is smaller than mine. Then I tried Jeremy Renner's handprint, and his hand was a little bit bigger than mine as well. Same thing with the Hulk, Mark Ruffalo. And with Robert Downey Jr.'s, my hand was almost the similar size. He has a couple fingers that are a bit longer than mine, but for the most part, it was pretty close, so that was definitely pretty cool. And before you wonder, they did have hand sanitizing dispensing machines all around, which was nice. Plus, it was sitting out in the sun, which is super hot that day. Definitely got sunburned. So yeah, any stuff in there, it's dead. And then I wandered some more on Hollywood Boulevard, and not too far from the Avengers handprints, right in front of Madame Tussauds Wax Museum, was Scarlett Johansson's star. Now, of the original 6, she's the only one that actually has a star on the Hollywood Boulevard. Although something interesting is next to Scarlett Johansson's star is Gwyneth Paltrow's star, aka Pepper Potts / Rescue, so that was kind of cool. And after wandering Hollywood Boulevard, I just kind of drove around the LA area just for fun, looking around, and I stopped by the Walt Disney Studios, as you saw on my Instagram. I figured it'd be kind of cool to drive by the actual Marvel Studios headquarters. I couldn't go inside, obviously, because I don't have credentials, but hey, who knows, maybe one day. I also drove by Warner Brothers Studios and Universal Studios, since they were nearby. And further south, I also stopped by Mattel's headquarters, because why not? I also stopped by the LA Air Force Base, because, you know, I'm an Air Force veteran, and it was like right next to the Mattel building. Yeah, I'm kind of on a different spectrum when it comes to sightseeing, but I don't know, would any of you guys do the same? But anywho, dudes, watching Black Widow at the El Capitan Theater in Hollywood was just a fantastic experience, and I definitely will go back there again for Shang-Chi when that releases in September. Plus, driving around LA and Hollywood area was really fun, and there's still a lot more to see, and honestly, I'm in San Diego, so I'm only like 2 hours away, so definitely going to be going back and checking out more stuff. But either way, if you guys can, I definitely recommend going to see an MCU movie or any Disney movie at the El Capitan Theater. It is definitely an experience you'll definitely definitely remember it. And it's just, I don't know, if you like film and you like the MCU, it's like a dream come true. Is that weird? Is it just me that really thinks it's cool? I don't know, but I do. But anywho, I got some more skits coming with my head on a figure. I see you guys like that, and other videos as well, so definitely stay tuned. I decided to take a little break before job hunting since I graduated, so I figured I could use some of that time to make more videos. Why not? So until the next one, I will catch you guys later. Peace.